Yeah. Got my second win.
All right, Mike, it's on you, brother.
All right. Welcome to another episode of I Am the Change podcast, brought to you by Dreams to Reality Incorporated, a nonprofit organization geared toward uplifting, inspiring, and empowering communities all over the world. I am your host, Michael Davis, alongside Mr. Jason Redmond, and our guest host, the amazing Ms. Sharice Lovett. How y'all doing today?
Fine, how are you?
Doing great, man. Doing great.
I'm excited about this episode.
Hey, man, look, so today I wanted to start a new segment called Up and Coming. And what I mean by up and coming is I wanted to get some young people on the show, not just to increase viewers, but that's number one. And number two, you got to showcase the future leaders of America. So I wanted to start off getting this young lady on because I've watched her grow up. I've watched her do some amazing things. Work anywhere from, working 2 jobs, playing sports, getting good grades in school, never giving her parents any trouble. So, yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, I wanted to bring her on because I thought that she's an amazing young lady. She's doing some amazing things in her field. And I'm gonna let her introduce herself and tell a little bit about herself and her background. So go ahead, Miss Young Lady. Tell us about yourself. Tell us who you are.
Hey everyone, my name is Dacia Redmond. I'm actually his kid. His whole kid. I am here at Clark Atlanta University. Currently residing in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania for my internship with Urban Outfitters. I don't really know what else you want to say in this introduction, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
So I do want you to let everybody know there was an article that was written about you. I'm sorry, let me back. It wasn't an article. It was an award that you got. Tell us about that award that you got and what did it pertain to?
So in December of 2020, I won the 2021 Fashion Scholarship Fund Virgil Abloh Postmodern Scholar Award. So it's basically a case study for fashion majors, non-fashion majors, but brought by Women's Wear Daily, the magazine, and then hosted by a Fashion Scholarship Fund. And my prompt was to kind of put together a merchandising plan per se for a specific brand to kind of help them stand out in the midst of social, economic, and political turmoil. This was happening during the time of all the protests. And so they were kind of trying to figure out how we as students could put together something for a brand to potentially help them make sure that their customers feel seen and heard more than just as like a customer coming in and buying stuff. So my first case study ever just so happened to be the only HBCU rep on the entire program. And then that award led to the article that my dad's talking about, which was put out by HBCU Buzz in like February, maybe something like that. And it just kind of went through basically what my entire case study was, the importance behind it and why I chose what I chose. So a little bit backstory behind the case study. I chose to focus on plus size women and men as a joint collective rather than as separate. And the brand I chose was H&M, and it was really more so how to push plus size clothing, push the importance of size inclusivity, representation, things that are all really big to me, but make it fashion. And so the interview that HBCU Buzz did for me was really just kind of spotlighting what I did. I'm the first Clark Atlanta student to win it, so there was a lot of love that came around it, and yeah.
That's awesome. Being a plus size person, I was excited when I read the article. I was like, yes, and I know who that is. So as Jason said, of course, he's watched you grow up. I've seen you in different aspects of you growing up through with Jason and coaching school ball and you being there with church and over at Lion Park. So at what point did you decide that fashion merchandising was going to be your thing?
So for a while, I really was trying to convince myself and my family I was going to be a fashion designer. Like I was going to be the next big Gucci, Louis, Prada, and I was going to put my family on the map, all of that. And I was in the car with my mom, I'll never forget. And I was like, you don't have time for that. Let's switch gears. So she actually kind of introduced merchandising to me. I had never heard of anything of being a buyer. All I knew was fashion and design. And so when that shift came, it actually kind of worked out a little bit better. I was able to still want to do fashion and still want to be in the field and be a buyer and work with vendors and things like that, but also still able to be an athlete in high school and be a regular student. So a lot of times design majors, their whole life is design. You're going to a school specifically for art and design. You don't really get that traditional high school and college experience. And I just wasn't for that. Like, I'm a very versatile kid. I like to have my hands in 50 million different pots. And so buying kind of lets me do that. And that ultimately shifted where I wanted to go in my career path.
Okay. I'm gonna keep asking questions and so everybody's quiet. We round robin and everybody was gonna chime in, but I'm gonna keep asking questions. So when focusing on plus size, I know with shopping, I don't like to just go to a store dedicated to plus size apparel. You know, I would love to go to the H&M, and to me, the more trendy look, because when you go to a plus size, it looks like it's my grandma's clothes. Yep. And it's like, what can I do to make this more fashionable? So
I guess grandma clothes not fashionable?
No.
And I'm not old, so
right.
So how did that become your focus or like your drive?
So outside of fashion, representation and inclusion are super big. I try to make sure that I'm able to be that person that some little boy or girl looks up to. Like, she comes from the same city as me, may not be the same background, but her hair color is the same as mine. Her eyes are like mine, and we the same some way somehow. And so with that, it was kind of easy to kind of tackle plus size. There's a lot of women and men in my life who are plus size and kind of complain all the time. Like, my high school advisor, whom I'm really close with, we talk about it all the time. And like, she's lost hope in the industry when it comes to providing plus size women and men with what they need to feel confident, to feel cute, to feel like they're on trend and not alienated. Like, you look at brands, smaller brands like Shein did a collaboration, and it was called Shein for Everybody. And the main focus for my case study was kind of geared towards what they did. They had a smaller size woman, a plus size woman in the same exact outfit. Like, things like that is what we should shift towards, rather than like completely creating, you know what I'm saying? Like, completely creating aisles for a plus size. And like, it shouldn't be exclusion, more so like include them in the same thing, create with the same creativity and the same passion and the same love. Like, prices shouldn't be skyrocketed because it's more fabric. Like, things like that was really like, it was like kind of sort of a no-brainer for me to pick plus size.
Awesome.
So you saying when they manufacturers will charge more for like a 3X or 2X size because of the fabric?
A lot of places don't typically make like anything beyond 3X, and if it is anything beyond a 3X, you got a little bit more money behind it. And it is like production and manufacturing within the industry is expensive, yes, but a lot of these companies are billion-dollar companies. An extra $300 to produce a plus size line with the same trends that the smaller size has really isn't going to make that big of a difference. But because it's more expensive and because it's not, people don't see it as a lot of a massive consumer base, even though it's a billion-dollar industry. People don't see that they don't see those dollars up front, because a lot of these companies have never geared toward plus size people before. So now you're introducing something that's going to take a little longer for it to reach out and for more plus size communities to come in and start shopping at your brand, but nobody wants to take that chance. So
gotcha.
That's what happens.
So yeah, I know from doing my website, when you pass that 3X, the fabric is a little bit more expensive. So do you see yourself like continue to work in this like with the plus size as you progress in your career?
Yeah, kind of sort of like even right now with my internship at Urban. So I'm kind of sort of a double intern. So part of it is, the traditional men's buying intern, but I'm also, the second part is called a UO Summer Class 21, which is 5 HBCU students, 3 from Clark, 1 from A&T, 1 from Howard. And we partner with Urban Outfitters to make a sweatsuit, varsity jacket, a hat, tote bag and like some other accessory. And so even with like my stuff, I was really pushing to make sure that there was a size beyond 2X, because there's more than 2X size people who attend Clark Atlanta, who went there or who just really support HBCUs. So that's something that's always going to be near and dear to my heart, because like I said, like that just kind of fits into the whole thing of representation and inclusion. I'm really big on making sure everybody has a seat at the table, because somebody made sure I had a seat at the table. Even though I may not be plus size, or that may not be like directly impacting me, like that's kind of part of what I believe in. Like it's part of the industry. The industry has a really big platform on making sure that everybody feels cute, looks cute. It's a big thing on confidence, and it's a confidence killer to not see yourself in ads, to not see yourself on billboards, to not see people pushing for you to come shop at their business. So things like that kind of stick within everything that I do, whether it be like a focus or not.
Dig it.
Oh, so
yeah.
You seem really passionate about this, and I mean, I would expect this because you're Jason's child. So like, how was it being raised by Jason? You know what I'm saying? Because like every time I talk to him and like going through something, he always gives me like a nice little inspirational quote or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, was he giving you those all through growing up and stuff like that?
Yeah, it never stopped. It never stopped. Half the time it goes in one ear out the other. I'm like, right now, I heard this 15 times before. But growing up as Coach Redmond's kid, still to this day, people who played for him still call me Lil Redmond. It's good and bad at the same time. Like, thankful mom is the woman that she is and the wife that she is, because she was able to kind of guide me to continue to kind of follow the path my dad had set for me and my brother, but she was also there to kind of deter me from it when I needed to. So like, I was a kid, if my dad had my brother going to play baseball, my dad had me going to play baseball, because I wanted to do everything my brother wanted to do. If my brother was playing baseball, I played baseball. If my brother was playing basketball, I played basketball. It was one point my brother was playing football, and I wanted to play flag football to be like my brother. My brother liked wrestling. I'm right there at the TV watching it with him. And so I guess my dad enjoyed that. He took it and ran with it. I've been involved in sports for as long as I can remember, but then also having my mom to kind of pull me back and, make me do some of the girly things, go do dance, go do Girl Scouts, things you don't really want to do. So I'm a well-rounded kid because of it. I know how to hang with the guys, but I also know how to kick it with the girls. Like, you kind of learn a lot. He's a really, what's the word? He's a really diverse guy.
Okay, I understand.
He's a really diverse guy.
Absolutely.
There are days, like the older he gets, the more he reminds me of my granddad. And so kind of watching my dad grow older and have more gray in his beard, and watching him wear glasses now and look exactly like my granddad, kind of like tells me that I was kind of raised by my granddad. And being raised by my granddad means you're knowledgeable, you have a little bit more wisdom, you can interact with everybody from the left side of the street to the right side of the street, and not be an outsider. I think he did a pretty good job.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. No,
I try.
Yeah. He is, like Michael said, he keeps us motivated, and he pushes us and inspires. I know I'll call him and I'm like, I don't believe this is going to work. And he's just like, it just takes one person to make a difference. So I know I go to him a lot for advice and inspiration. So, and you have awesome parents, Dacia. You have awesome parents.
Yeah.
I really do. I do. I think specifically with my dad, like he wants to try to save everybody. That could be a good or bad thing at times, but majority of the times, like, I have so many guys that I call brothers, because there have been 50 million times where I'm stuck to get in the car with some stinky football player who my dad has to take home, or some stinky basketball player who my dad didn't want to leave because he knew he had to get me home because I got to go to school the next day, but so does this other kid. And so he's kind of instilled in me and my brother, like, to really be accepting and to be like loving of everyone. Everyone has a different path. Everyone has a different walk of life, but at the same time, we are the same. You have something that you can give to somebody else to help them, and if you're capable, you should. Did it get a little bit annoying as a kid? Like, man, I just want to go home. I don't want to be sitting out here all day. Absolutely. But it's something that you can learn from, and I definitely think that's one of the traits from him that I pull. My mom tells me that all the time.
That's awesome.
I
That's
try.
awesome.
I try.
So when it comes to back to the fashion, so what I've noticed a lot now are these boutiques that are popping up for plus size. I know I've ordered from some. Of course, to me, the quality may not be as great because I feel like with the vendors and things they use, it's not consistent. Like I may order this print dress one week and the same dress, different print the next week, and it's like two totally different material and everything. With those boutiques, and I understand their purpose is to bring that trend in. What do you say as a fashion merchandise major in shaping those, or gearing those to a more quality type product?
I think when it comes to like boutiques, like anything within beauty, be like boutiques or bundles or even lashes, you got to find a good quality bundle. Or you have to find a good quality vendor. It's kind of sort of a game of trial and error because you're never going to get it right at first. I know a lot of people who have like startup companies and really are just like trying to find a good vendor, trying to find good quality stuff so that all of your stuff fits the same, quality is the same, and you don't really have too many issues. But starting out, it's gonna be a game of trial and error. You're gonna have that vendor that gives you 3 of the same dress in the same exact size that are gonna fit 3 different ways. You're gonna have 3 different fabrics, 3 different styles. Like it's inevitable because right now the world is in this kind of phase where it wants fast fashion instead of quality fashion. I'm not too much of a fan of fast fashion because we have these issues where I'm ordering the same product and it's the same, ship it forever, things like that. So I think the biggest thing within the beauty industry as a whole is kind of being willing to pay a little bit more. Like it's okay to pay a little bit more for your product if it's quality. Like that means you're gonna have to take that risk and you're gonna have to go out and you're gonna have to actually see it before you buy it. A lot of people don't see the stuff and touch it before they buy it. They just put in the order because it looks good. And somebody said it's got a 4-star review, so I'm gonna go ahead and order it because I need something now. Patience is a virtue when it comes to everything in life, but it's specifically your business and your brand, because the one thing you don't want to do is get something that's like quick and easy and then it's not quality. 2 weeks down the line, it's ripping, it's got holes in it, threads pulling, like, these are things that you don't want. So that's why fast fashion is like a booming, but it's not quality. So trial and error, taking those risks, investing in yourself, and things like that kind of help shape a boutique starting out to kind of move you from a boutique but to like a storefront.
So,
and then, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, and then with the Urban Outfitters, the internship you're with, I know you touched briefly on the projects that you're working on. How did you go about, because we are, we're excited about having younger people listen, and I feel like internships are very important. Even if like my internship, I was a criminal justice major, did my internship with the police department. I'm not doing anything criminal justice related technically, but still that internship was very valuable in what I wanted to do. How did you go about getting your internship, one, and just elaborate a little bit more on what y'all are doing at your internship?
So it took me, I got this internship in maybe March, April of last year or this year, something like that. It was recent. I was getting a bunch of no's. I was literally applying everywhere, and every single place I applied gave me a no. And then Fashion Scholarship Fund came around, and I had something else attached to my name that was big in the industry. I had Virgil Abloh forever attached to my name, and people liked that, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna see what you're talking about." Even still, I still got a bunch of no's. It was really disheartening, and at one point, I really lost hope because I graduated high school with 49 college credits. So my first year of college was August of 2019, and then COVID hit March 2020, and so I didn't get the traditional college experience. I didn't get that push, those summer internships you get when you're in college traditionally. I was behind trying to play catch up. And so getting all of these no's was rough. It's like, I'm a quality kid. I have a 4.0 GPA. I was an athlete my first year of college. Like I'm doing it. And nobody seems to want what I have to offer. And so I won the fashion scholarship on case study in December, and probably like a few months later, I don't really remember when it came around. It came around like April or something like that. But through my university, the Urban Outfitters stuff came through. They sent it through the career link as always, and I saw it, and it was a bunch of stuff. It was like free housing. They took care of our transportation, things like that. And I'm like, a no-brainer. I'm gonna take it. So I do this virtual interview, and I'm cringing the entire time. I'm like, I got a minute and 30 seconds to talk to a screen. I'm talking to myself, and I've never done this before. I don't like to do this at all. So we do it. I get like 2-3 weeks later. At the time that I did that internship, I had also got an offer from City Trends. And when I got the offer from City Trends, I was like, okay, it's my first one. You know, City Trends isn't a big company, but it's a company. Somebody wants to take a chance on me. It's Black people in the office who look like me, really want me to come, so I'm gonna consider it. And then when they gave me the offer, 5 days later, I waited until I heard back about Urban. So 5 days later, I heard back about Urban. No, 5 days later, they told me they were gonna give me another week to kind of sort through who they really wanted, because they were having a hard time picking. So out of faith, I took a leap and declined the City Trends offer. I had nothing at the time. There was nothing solidifying that I was going to get this Urban Outfitters internship. I was just going off faith because God told me that is not really the one for you, because the storefront in Durham had just closed. So what can that City Trends offer you that Urban Outfitters can't? So then a week later, I get a call from a random Pennsylvania number. Had I not answered it, I would have missed Kelly Connolly calling me to tell me, hey, congratulations, you're an Urban Outfitters intern this summer, on top of the fact that congratulations, and me, I'm a CAU grad, and I'm so excited to have you. And wow. From then on, it kind of really like pushed, like, you know, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, somebody sees you. And I had a conversation with her not too long ago, and she was like, you know, kind of telling her my first few weeks at Urban, I had the worst case of imposter syndrome. I really felt like I was behind, felt like I wasn't supposed to be here, like it was an accident. And we were talking, and she was like, you know, it's funny you say that, because your interview was one of the best interviews. Had you not still been in school, I would have moved forward with hiring you full time. And so to have people kind of see me when I feel like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, it's like a sigh of relief, because I was like, you know, I got so many no's. So like, am I just too young to be working right now? Like, do I need to wait? Is age playing a factor? Is it because I live in Durham? Like, what is it? And so to now have people who literally want me to come to work as the redhead Black girl that I actually am, who goes to Clark Atlanta University and could care less about any other opinion, like to have people want me to come to work like that every single day was like a relief. And so, and then to be partnering with Urban to put out product, and I'm not a design major, so you look at these sketches that people know, like, she does not do design. She's completely an outsider here. Leave her with the vendors so she can pick stuff, because she don't need to be drawn. But to have them literally tell us in the beginning, like, don't try to whitewash your stuff. Like, whatever product you put out is for us, and it's specifically by us. Like, it's meant to be uplifting. It's meant to be Black power. It's meant to be supporting HBCUs to the fullest. So don't water it down. Don't change it. Whatever you want to put is what you put, and we work from there. And so working with them, we had meetings over the summer, meeting with vendors to kind of push through the ideas that we wanted. I'm talking, we had like 50 million mood boards to kind of figure out what route we wanted to take. And it's really been kind of like cool to see how things really work when it comes to production. Urban had a collaboration with this brand called A-Life, super simple, super minimalistic. They don't really have too much on the garments. It's typically just work. And so we had multiple conversations about that, and to hear them want my opinions to kind of shift how the summer class is going was amazing in itself. So I'm like, you know, I've never done this before, but you're asking me my opinion, not only because I'm an HBCU student, but I'm also super critical to what you got going on right here. And so right now we're in a waiting stage, but you know, it's been like super cool, mind blowing to say the least. But yeah,
that's man, amazing.
So you go to Clark Atlanta University. So like, I know when I went to Knoxville College, I know when I walked on campus, I walked out of the library and I walked on campus. I got to see the campus itself for what it was. I felt like I was home, and I felt like that college fit. So at what moment did you have that I'm home moment when you went to Clark, Atlanta?
So fun fact, for the longest, I was not trying to tell people I was going to Clark. I was actually battling whether I was going to take a partial scholarship to go to North Carolina State or if I was going to go to Clark, Atlanta, and they hadn't given me any money at the time. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of finally just sucked it up. I kind of realized, like, you know, I went on a tour state and absolutely hated the tour. It was too big. I would have had to take a shuttle from my room to my campus, which would have been 15 minutes, things that I just wouldn't want to do. And then I'll never forget, me and my parents went to Spellhouse Homecoming, but it was at the time that Clark, Spelman, and Morehouse had their homecomings all at the same time. As soon as I got to Atlanta, I knew that's where I was supposed to be. I absolutely knew I would be attending Clark, Atlanta in the fall, and whether they gave me a single dime or not, we was gonna figure it out. Everybody was so welcoming. It literally felt like home. I had never been to Clark before a day in my life. We went, I had a tour, and I actually met my mentor the day of the tour. We instantly hit it off, and she met my parents. She hit it off with my parents. Like Sister's Day, I call Jalen every day, and she'll be like, "Tell your mom I said hi. Tell your dad I said hi. Hi, Dad." Like, instantly hit it off. And then we walk over to Morehouse, and it was like home. Like, literally, of course, you know, my dad wanted everybody to know he's the bruh, so the bruh come find him, and they're talking, and they're like, yeah, he's like, yeah, my daughter's gonna come in the fall, and they're like, yeah, she comes, we got her, she's good. And those same guys, I don't think they remember it, but super close with them, I don't think they remember that they made a promise to my dad, and they actually unknowingly fulfilled it. It was a no-brainer to come to Clark, like, and then to get here, and then they find some money for me the summer of, because they're like, kind of just flip the cracks, so make sure you get covered. And since then, my parents haven't had to pay out of pocket for me to go to school ever.
Well, look at God.
Won't he will?
Yes.
Now, I just want to ask Jason. I want to ask you a question real quick. How proud does it make you that, you know, your daughter HBCU? You know what I'm saying? She's early in her college career. She's already got a dope internship, and she's, you know what I'm saying, making moves like in the industry. Like, how proud does that make you as a father?
So, man, I've always been proud of my daughter. So we have two different dynamics in my house. My son and my daughter are two totally different individuals. My son is real quiet. My daughter, though, is not. And to see her excelling and just being herself, my biggest thing is to be who you are. And if you're going to be loud, if you're going to be boisterous, if you're going to be flamboyant, just be that. And she's never changed who she is. She's never like watered herself down to fit in. Like, I've always been proud of her to speaking up for herself. And I used to get mad, man, to be honest, like quiet as cat, I used to get upset. Like, she had issues on the softball team. And I'd be like, yo, you want me to go talk to the coach? You want to go talk to the coach? She was like, nah, Dad, I got it. I'm like, all right. So one day, this is like a real proud dad moment. She let me go talk to the coach. I beelined across the softball field. I parked my truck. I walked, I'm in shooting hard bottom shoes. I'm walking across the softball field. I'm getting it. I'm going, oh man, I'm so excited. That was like one of the best dad moments, but I've always been proud of her because like you don't ever have to, like you can tell her to do something once and she'll get it done. Now she's going to be, if she's asleep, if you're trying to wake her up, if she's got to be somewhere on time, if y'all going to have an issue. But like if she's up and she's doing her thing, she's focused. Like I remember her junior year, she had 2 jobs. She worked for the city, she worked for Panera, and she was playing softball and she wanted to get a car. And she said, Dad, I want to get a car. So all right, cool, I'll go find you. She said, no. I'm gonna buy my own car because you're gonna get me what you can afford. I want what I want. I'm like, hey. And the whole car buying process, I sat back, the guy she bought the car from, he's looking at me. I'm like, don't talk to me, talk to her. Because she's buying the car, not me. She was like, all right. She's like, Dad, come look at the car. We went and looked at the car. She liked it. She's like, Dad, I'm not buying this car because the kind of car that it is. I'm buying the car because I like the body of it. Like, that's cool. Oh yeah, and they got the part for the car. We're about to get it fixed too.
Let it be known, when I bought this car, before I bought the car, my dad told me, you cannot get a luxury car because you're not gonna have my insurance going through the roof. My first car was a 96 Mercedes-Benz C220. So my dad broke the rule. He broke the rule. And literally a year and some change later, I told my mom, like, yeah, I think I want a new car. She was like,
Yes.
why? At this point, it was my freshman year of college, and I was doing service. So I'm a Wings for Kids volunteer when I'm in Atlanta. And so in Union City at Mary Bethune Elementary School, I go after class, or I went after class, and I was kind of working hand in hand with kindergarten and first grade girls and boys. And Wings for Kids really like helps push emotional development, educational development, and like understanding who you are, kind of shaping your future for under supported and underfunded African American kids. And so I was telling her, like, I'm riding 30 minutes in an Uber, like, I think I'm gonna get a new car, because I knew the Mercedes was gonna make it to Atlanta. And so she's like, okay, what do you want to get? And I'm like, yeah, I think I want a Mustang. And she's like, okay. I come home in November, and my dad had a truck that I absolutely hated. Little does he know I was plotting on him, because I told my mom, like, yeah, I'm gonna just see who's gonna take the truck, because I don't want this at the house anymore. I don't live there anymore, but who wants that truck? I go buy
I love that truck too.
05. I go buy a 05 Mustang, and the guy wanted to buy my dad's truck. So my dad sells his truck, I buy the Mustang, and I give my dad the Mercedes. The rest is history.
Oh wow.
She gave me
The rest is
Mercedes.
history.
Smooth move.
Yeah, I mean, it's big things happening in your future. We're gonna see you somewhere on a large stage, and we're gonna just like, she started, and like you said, where people can see I'm from your same city, we look alike, all of that stuff, and it's such an inspiration. And so I applaud you, Dacia. I really do. Yes.
Super dope. The Wings for Kids thing you were just talking about, how did you get involved with that? Because that sounds super dope.
You said, repeat that for me? You said kids?
Yeah, at the elementary school?
Yeah, so I got to Clark, and I was talking to my mom, and she was like, as soon as you get to Atlanta, you need to find some community service, because I guarantee you, within a year, the Deltas are going to be back on the yard, and you're going to need to have some service. And so I was like, okay. A semester goes by, I had nothing. And then Wings for Kids comes up on my radar, because one of the girls I knew was a volunteer at a school closer. And I'm like, perfect opportunity. I take it, I go, and immediately it was like, I love kids. And as soon as I stepped foot in there, like, everyone swarmed me. And you would have thought I had been there before. Like, I babysit for fun back home, but like, kids who don't know you and come up to you and they treat you like you've been there before. Like, if you work with kids, kids are brutal, especially for kindergarten and first grade boys and girls. Add to them that their entire life so far, everybody's been calling them at risk. I don't call Black kids at risk, because there's not a Black kid in my life that I've ever seen that's at risk. They just don't have anybody funding them and supporting them and believing in them like the Black kids from the suburban neighborhood. So when somebody's calling you at risk your whole life, and you got somebody that comes in talking to you like a human, like, they loved me. Like, when I wasn't there and then I came back, they were like, where have you been? Why were you not here? I had a kid I'd never forget before Christmas break, couldn't spell his name. And when he came back in January, he was writing his name in fluent letters. And so to know that the impact you have on somebody else, to where they get to go home to whatever they're going home to and still remember, she taught me how to write my name, so I need to make sure I can write my name when I go back. Like, that made me know that, like, I'm not here to just be who I am for myself, but there's somebody else who's generations and generations younger than me who actually needs me, because they don't have that guidance. Even if they may go home, they may have the best parents in the world, but having the best parents in the world is everything, but your village kind of makes everything that your parents teach you a lot better. Because my parents have taught me such great life lessons. But somebody outside of my parents comes and tells me the same thing, and I'm gonna take it and run with it. And then I'll tell my parents, yeah, such and such told me, they're gonna be like, so did I. So that's how I got started with Wings for Kids. And then, yeah, I've actually been so sad that I haven't been back to Atlanta, but yeah, that was like probably the highlight of my semester.
Yeah, that's super dope.
Yeah. So you said, so you open the doors. I'm gonna run through it.
Go for it.
So 14 Sigma chapter, fall 20?
Fall 20.
So tell me, so And so folks that might not understand, you crossed Delta fall 20. Sigma chapter is a chapter at Clark, Atlanta. You were one of
14 on my line.
you're number 14 on your line. So tell me I understand what it's like to be a legacy, because my father was an Omega before me. So you being a legacy as a Delta, what was that like when you stepped on campus and you stepped into the meetings and you stepped into that Delta limelight? What was because it was a little different from you than what it was from your brother. So your whole process was a little different.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, being a legacy was probably one of the greatest honors I could have. I love my mom to death. Like, my mom is literally my best friend. And so to be able to kind of follow in the path that she set, had my mom not been who she was outside of her letters, I would have never really taken Delta as seriously as I did. My mom literally ingrained in me and my brother since I was in her womb that service is where you're supposed to be. My mom's big as a house, serving with a baby in her stomach. Like, that's something that we do as a family, things we do outside of our family. Like, that's who we are. And then to watch her be a Delta woman, be ingrained in scholarship, working at Duke, and literally never giving up on kids, even if she really doesn't want to be there, like taking her job and knowing that this is bigger than me. I may not like what I do for real, but there's somebody else who's benefiting from what I do, whether it be a coworker, a student, or my kids. And so know that I'm kind of doing exactly what my mom did was like the biggest honor ever. I talk about my mom and my line sisters all the time. Like, my line sisters love my mom. Every time I'm on the phone with them, they're like, "Where's your mom? Where's your mom? Where's your mom?" Like, my mom's the same way my dad wants to give everybody gifts. Like, no, give me the gift. I'm your kid. So in the woman, but not just a Delta woman, but a Sigma chapter woman, to be a single letter chapter is a heavy weight to carry. And Sigma is a chapter that has such a rich history at Clark, Atlanta, not only being the chapter alone, but at the university that it stands at. It's kind of powerful beyond just letters, to know the impact that you have on somebody else, because everybody looks up to people who are Greek. Everybody looks up to people who have such high statues at universities. And so to be me, to help with my chapter name on the map, put my family name on the map, put my university name on the map at the same time, was like kind of amazing. And I'm only 19 while I'm doing all of this, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you being 19, so when you were talking about the kids being generations and generations younger than you, I had to chuckle. I was like, it's not that many generations.
They feel so much younger. Like, I swear, I'll come in and you'll tell them you can't eat your chips right now, you gotta wait. And they'll just break down in tears and full fit. Like, you just ate, you can't eat your chips right now, but why? Okay, all right. Like, it makes me feel old being around kids. It doesn't feel like they're just right there behind me.
Right. Because you're like, you got a birthday coming up too.
I do have a birthday coming up.
Yeah.
I do.
What are you gonna do for your birthday?
I'm probably going to DC for my birthday. So.
Yeah.
Well, happy early birthday.
Thank you so much.
Happy early birthday.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You gonna celebrate all month like normal, or you gonna just do?
So I'll actually be working on my birthday. So the weekend before, I'll be in DC, but I don't really have time to celebrate too much because my birthday comes 3 days later, my internship ends, and I'm moving back to Durham. 2 days later, I'm moving to Atlanta, and then 2 days after that, semester starts.
Hold on. You said you're moving back to Durham. You're not moving back to Durham. You're just coming back.
So I have to move back for 2 days because I have to be home for 2 days to get the rest of my stuff. So technically, I'm gonna be moving back home for a little bit. But after that, I'm moving out. Like, I'm going to Redmond. I'm gone.
Your dad said you're coming to visit. You're not moving.
Yeah, like I'm not there long term. Like, I'm packing everything else up that's not in a box, and we're getting on the road 2 days later. It's not a staying for fun. Like, no, we here to get everything out.
You're not coming to visit with friends or nothing? You gonna...
No. I love Durham. Durham is forever gonna be in my heart. The city that raised me. Mm-hmm. But no, it's definitely time to go.
Time to go. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And it's dope though. I used to live in Atlanta. Atlanta's super dope. Like, I love it up there.
Yeah, being in college in Atlanta is great. Like, it's networking everywhere. Yeah. And Atlanta is like the mecca of Black culture. And so to be right in the center of it all, where everybody comes to you, I don't have to go nowhere. Like, I didn't go to AGP, I didn't go to Atlanta Greek picnic, but I know as soon as I go back to the campus, the Greeks gonna come and it's gonna be AGP all over again. Like, I don't have to go far. The good times come and find us.
Yeah, I know somebody that did go to AGP. Your brother?
You're talking about yourself. Oh.
No, no, I'm not going to AGP. No.
I'd say you gotta be talking about yourself. Good.
Not at all, buddy.
I didn't know.
Jason, isn't it where your sister is up in Atlanta?
Yeah, she's down in Atlanta. Yeah. She's down there. She's down there.
Second ribbon on the shelf.
Yes, yeah. A ribbon on the shelf.
I said we got the second ribbon on the shelf.
Oh, second ribbon. Yeah. The funny thing about it, they had a similar. So my son and my daughter have a similar dynamic between I and my sister have. So that was always good to see too. That your siblings are close. So that was always good to watch them. But completely different, two totally different people. Two totally different. So I do have a question. So you get to Clark. What is your most memorable moment? Let me say, what's your most proudest moment as a college student so far?
Most proudest college student. Probably gonna be the case study. Just because it was my very first case study. I really didn't know what I was doing. My departmental advisor was kind of my mentor through the whole thing. So I was sending her stuff literally every day. I was, at the time, working at the Nike factory from Redmond. So I would take my breaks and hop in on Zoom with her to kind of work through stuff, the kinks, in like 15 minutes. And so to do that, have no idea what I was doing, but to trust that my departmental advisor has an idea what she's doing. She's not gonna lead me astray. And she was just as invested in it as I was, and then to know that not only am I the only HBCU student, like I'm the first Clark student to ever win it. And so at that time, like, I was a nobody at Clark. Like, financial aid had no idea who I was. Career services had no idea who I was. The fashion department was like, I've had her a few times, but nobody had an idea who I was. And then some random case study comes about, and this kid blows up. And my university was loving on me. They ain't throw me no extra money, but they was loving on me. I had articles coming about, people emailing me, trying to interview me, my department raving about me so that I can get the internship that I have. Like, kind of just proves that everything that I've done from high school to now, whether it be recognized, whether people see it, honor it, whether they ignore it and hate on it, like whatever the case may be, like it was for a reason. I'm not working in vain. Like, everything that I do is for the betterment of my future, betterment of my career, honestly, the betterment of who I am as a woman. And so to see my university be proud of me, like with my face everywhere and have all these people calling me, was like kind of amazing. Like, I've been in college for 2 years at this point, and I'm gonna graduate in December. And it's like, I only had a semester on campus, but I can guarantee you that, like, my experience, the love that I felt, the home culture that I felt, even from my house doing virtual school, like, I got college for the most part. So yeah.
I don't think they heard you. You've been in college how long?
2 years, and it
sucks. You graduated
2
when?
years. December 2021, I will be completing my degree. And then May 2022, I will be walking. That's kind of sad to think about, but
that's so, you're so grounded. And again, kudos to your parents for instilling a lot of that in you, and then you going and just blossoming into your own as a young adult. So as people watch this and they see, again, with me working with Teen Gen and working with young ladies, it's just, this is the goal of that program, where we see them flourish into their own.
Yeah. So it's funny because I put the flyer up to promote the interview, man, it was like everybody and their mom was like, "Congratulations, Dacia! Congratulations, Dacia!" I was like, "Yo, I put two flyers up, guys. Yeah, congratulations." They was like, man, forget the other guy. Hey, congratulations, Dacia. I was like, dang, all right. You know, I ain't hating. I'm just saying. I'm like, yo, it's always good to see you doing big things, even though you don't always tell me I got to get it secondhand. It's okay though. I'm not, you know, I ain't mad
I knew
about
he
it.
was gonna throw it in there somehow. I was waiting. I was waiting for the pity party, but he waited until the end.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna put it in there. But yeah, no, but it is good to watch you do stuff and flourish. And you know, people are. You talk about a village. It's like everybody that follows me that knows you. They always talking highly of you. Everybody asks about you, how you're doing. So I really like to watch you do the things that you've done and make the moves that you've made. Like, you know, you're not taking any prisoners, and I expect big stuff from you. Oh, also, when you come back, those things that you're making at Urban Outfitters, if you get a fitted, no,
we're gonna go ahead and kill that before you even finish.
No,
we're not even gonna open that door. We're gonna actually close it back.
I'm just saying, if you got like a fitted,
close the door. Go ahead and close it back.
I'm just saying, like,
don't even have the chance to open it. It's actually completely fine. You don't even have to open the door. You can just matter of fact, lock it. Throw away the key. You don't even have to bring that up.
That's fine.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Philadelphia. I see myself continuing at Urban Outfitters. I do not want to leave. I actually have conversations with them all the time, telling them I don't want to leave. Philadelphia reminds me a lot of Durham. It's not too fast, not too slow, but my job is amazing. If I don't feel like wearing a skirt to work, I can come in there with some sweatpants and a t-shirt on and do my job. I can come in there as a loud black girl that I want to be, and nobody's going to tell me to be quiet. I can pull up with my tinted windows and my music loud. Nobody judges because they want me who I am and what I can do. I see myself, my biggest goal in life is to throw my own version of the Ebony Fashion Fair, but rather than centering it around large name fashion brands like Gucci, Louis, Prada, all that good stuff, open it up for smaller Black designers to showcase their work in the same space as these large designers, for networking, for the opportunity to be accepted and appreciated for your talent rather than for diversity and inclusion. And also to kind of show people, again, younger than you, who come from the same space as you, that, you know, if you push hard enough, you work hard enough, you're determined, and you really believe in yourself and invest in yourself, there's nothing you can't do. Nothing that I've done wouldn't be possible if I didn't believe in myself, if I didn't keep faith in God, and if I didn't stay on the path that I was on. It's not going to be easy. It's a lot of times where I really thought I was doing something wrong. You know, I tell my mom all the time, like, you know, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing something because God tells me to keep moving forward. It's really not about running. Life is a marathon, not a sprint. Then my dad tells me that all the time. And so just keeping faith and remembering that I'm here for a bigger purpose, that's going to be the goal for hopefully in the next 5 years. But Philadelphia is where I see myself for sure.
Nobody is putting a ceiling over you. You're unstoppable. So, you know, we look forward to seeing where you are 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now.
I concur.
It's amazing to see the mindset, but you know, we know who your parents are, so it's expected.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we always ask our guests to give us some inspirational words before we take this thing out. So if you can leave us with anything, I know you done dropped some good gems on us, you know, unintentionally, but if you got a little bit more for us, we'd love to hear it.
Gosh, I don't know. Let me see. Y'all want this to be for the kids, so let's see what I can get for the young adults.
Anybody, young adults, anybody.
Yeah, give it.
Remember whose you are. My parents instilled that in me very, very young, and still to this day, it applies to every aspect of my life. Remembering that I'm a Redmond, but I'm also a child of God, but I'm also a Black woman and an HBCU student and a Dutch woman. All kind of keeps me grounded, makes me remember that everything that I'm doing is for a purpose. Everything you do in life should be not only for the betterment of yourself and your career, but also for those who come after you. Stay steadfast, stay humble, stay driven, and God will make sure that your work and your faith in Him all aligns so that your future is set for you. Yeah. The end.
Thanks.
All right.
There's nothing else to say after that.
Yeah, she hit you with the little face jump too. Yeah. All right, man, you can take us out of here. You can take us out on that one, Mike.
All right, man. Well, thank you for joining us on this episode. Super dope to hear about your story. I expect great things in the future from you. Jason, Sharice, thank you for joining us again. It's been a great episode. If this is your first time tuning in, please like, subscribe, and continue to follow us on this journey. If you've been rocking with us, keep on keeping on, because we got a lot of great things to come. We are Dreams to Reality Incorporated, a nonprofit organization geared toward uplifting, inspiring, and empowering communities all over the world. And remember, the goal is not to be better than anybody, but together we can help achieve better for everybody. Thank you, and have a good night.
All right.
All right.